And hello, who's in a good mood today? Knicks Nation, are we in a good mood? Yes, you are noticing I have lost the beard, but do not worry. I'm still a Knicks fan. I am still in tip-top form. And I was on a road trip, so I wasn't able to do a video about this yesterday, or within the last few hours where this has broken. That the Jazz are now listening to trade offers for Donovan Mitchell. Well. I think I'm going to put the clip there where I said the Knicks are winning the offseason. The Knicks are winning the offseason. They're winning, okay? I will go back to evidence. Number one, Julius and World Wide West. This is a big deal. You don't do this in the NBA. And Allen Houston, who's not pictured, attends Utah versus Dallas Game 1 playoffs, April 28th. Jalen Brunson versus Donovan Mitchell. Let's keep that in mind. The vultures are circling. I just love that line. The vultures are circling. The Knicks came in and saw what was happening. This was a big plan. They've been trying to set this up for years. Now, if the NBA offers or says that they're gonna tamper, take 5 second-round picks, $10 million fine, Dolan will sign the check giddy with no problem. They don't care. But this, according to certain personalities on TV, reeked of college recruitment. And the Knicks were roundly mocked for making this choice to go to the playoff games and said, you have no shot. And so we digress. We move on. The Mavericks beat the Jazz pretty handily because Luka Doncic did not play, I think, the first 2 or 3 games, and Jalen Brunson broke out and became, high on everybody's list for free agency. And again, the Dallas Mavericks did have multiple opportunities to sign Brunson, so don't cry over spilled milk. But them beating the Jazz, everybody around the league, Twitter, everybody online knew that this was going to lead to changes. And especially with Danny Ainge there, because remember, he broke down the Celtics' big three and restarted that and ended up getting picks from Brooklyn that had turned into Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He was going to do it again. So what did he do? He made Rudy Gobert a Minnesota Timberwolf, in no uncertain terms, winning this trade in terms of future assets. Tons of picks, 5 first-round picks. I consider Walker Kessler a pick. He's not played in the NBA. He's from this past draft. He is a center. They got 4 picks, and they got a pick swap in 2026. They better hope that Anthony Edwards resigns there and doesn't decide to go to the Hawks, where he's from Georgia, or maybe Miami, somewhere warm. He looks like a star. He doesn't look like he belongs to Minnesota. Sorry, Minnesota. You know it's true. You can keep Cat, though. And I went back to this slide because I want to show that the Wolves around the league, teams around the league felt that this was an overpay. Everybody felt this was an overpay because it was an overpay. I want to go back to the screen. That's a lot of compensation for a 30-year-old center. That's 7'3", could potentially have knee issues at any moment. We don't know. And has not done much in the playoffs. He's good in the regular season, and I think the T-Wolves will be maybe one of the top 4 teams in the West, top 5. But that's a lot to give up for that. But what he did to the market was he made a Donovan Mitchell trade very expensive, and he made a Kevin Durant trade very expensive. And my, who is here to, after getting Jalen Brunson in free agency, after people roundly mocked the idea that was going to happen, that was the first domino to fall. They signed him. It was obviously well known. 4 years, $104 million. This was known weeks before free agency started. Like I said, the Knicks don't care about tampering. Do whatever you want. What's the record before? It was $1 million in a penalty. It was a second-round pick. The Knicks have tons of second-round picks. Nobody cares.
Do you feel that the Knicks did anything inappropriate in that scenario?
No, they were perfect.
Yeah.
And this, of course, reeked of insider wheeling and dealing when you have Leon Rose's son as Jalen Brunson's agent at CAA, and obviously Leon Rose still has his hands deeply in that agency, and guess who's also a client of CAA? One Donovan Mitchell. But I digress. And I want to go back to the plan. This is where it started. This is where it ended. This is where they were mocked, but this is where it started. And leading back to the Jazz changing their mind, because the writing is on the wall that they need the Knicks to cooperate. They need the Knicks to make this trade. The Knicks have the assets to get Donovan Mitchell. And everything else that you're hearing is posture. Now, I will say that Miami is a slim possibility, but the Knicks can blow them out of the water with any offer in terms of draft compensation. And Ainge is a person that wants draft picks. I mean, go back to the Gobert trade. Go back to the Celtics trades. He wants draft picks. It's the ramen or cigarettes of the NBA. It is the currency that makes the trades happen. Are draft picks. And I want to go back to this Woj thing. And I'm going to read it really quickly. After previously shutting down inquiries on moving Donovan Mitchell, the Jazz are now willing to make a trade. The GM, Justin Zanuck, said, change is inevitable, things evolve, which is all corporate speak for this is happening. He's not untouchable. This is going to happen. He's going to get traded one way or another. The Jazz are open to trades across the entire roster, and I said that's why Pat Beverly is important. That's why everybody else that they receive from the T-Wolves could be flipped for first-round picks. So they may get even more first-round picks on top of that. They're saying that the draft, the asking price for this type of move is going to be astronomical. Again, if you think that Rudy Gobert is worth 5 first-round picks, if that's what the market is indicating that that's what's going to happen, then what is Donovan Mitchell worth? What is Kevin Durant worth? But there's only but a few teams that have that much type of draft capital. Again, the Knicks being the leader, well, obviously behind OKC. OKC doesn't care for any of these players, so they're doing it the long way. So the Knicks are pretty much the only option if you want that type of haul. They are not going to get Kevin Durant from the Nets because obviously the Nets and Knicks despise each other, and the owner of the Nets, Mr. Tsai, does not want to give any back page relevance to the Knicks. And again, Kevin Durant on the Knicks makes them a title contender. I don't care if they give them 100 picks, it's not going to happen. So the only option here is Donovan Mitchell. Now, do you make a swing on this trade? People are for it and against it. He's about the same height as Brunson, 6'1", 6'2". They are both not the greatest defenders. I do think that Tibbs will clean up a lot of their issues, but it's going to be a very small backcourt if they make this trade. And then there's others who do not want to give up R.J. Barrett. They don't want to give up Obi Toppin. They don't want to give up Emmanuel Quickly. They want to keep building. And again, if you keep building, this is going to take a while. You're looking for a diamond in the rough in the draft. And yeah, you may find a LeBron James or a franchise type player, but one is available right now. And so the question is, what do you pay for it? Now, if you're telling me that you're asking for 8 first-round picks, Obi, Emmanuel Quickley, and R.J. Barrett, I say don't let the door hit you on the way out. But if we're gonna say, hey, this is specifically focused on draft picks, 7 first-round picks. Remember that we have a lot of assets. Then that's different. And cap filler, Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish and even Quentin Grimes, because I don't even know if he's going to get minutes on this team, would be, I feel, a fair package. But the minute you put RJ in there, I mean, if you're taking RJ, that's fine, but then your draft compensation is going to be limited. And it'll be anything after the 2023 draft. You're not getting anything for next year, which is the double draft. And it's going to be one of the deepest drafts in recent history, maybe since 2003. So those draft picks are worth more than any other draft pick because you know this is going to be a blockbuster draft. So that would be my mindset if I'm making that call with Danny Ainge. And again, Danny Ainge's leverage is limited because there are not many, if any, teams that have the type of draft picks the Knicks have. Only the OKC Thunder, and the OKC Thunder are not trading for Donovan Mitchell. I would be shocked because they do have a lot. They have SGA, they have a lot of guards. That would be interesting. SGA, Donovan Mitchell, and a few first-round picks, maybe 5. Maybe that gets it done. But I just don't know what OKC would want the difference between Donovan Mitchell and SGA and giving up those. It doesn't make any sense. They're not going to make that trade. The only other team that I would consider beside the Knicks would be the Miami Heat because Durant is too prohibitive in terms of the compensation that they want. Danny Ainge loves Tyler Hero. He wanted to draft him with the Celtics, and they missed out on him by 1 pick. So 4 first-round picks, Tyler Hero, and some salary filler, Duncan Robinson maybe, who could potentially get it done. Insiders believe that Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks is an inevitability. It just reeks of it because of Donovan's ties here. This is not the Kevin Durant situation when they were trying to sign him in free agency, saying that his agent was a lifelong Knicks fan. What does that mean? Like, it's an agent. And yeah, we're looking back. I just didn't make any sense. Donovan Mitchell's dad works for the Mets. Donovan Mitchell grew up in Connecticut. Donovan Mitchell's family is from the Northeast. Why wouldn't he want to be here? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I just, this is going to happen. I can't see any other way around it, again, except for the Miami Heat. We can stay on this side. The New York Knicks have been tied for Donovan Mitchell for multiple years, and the Utah Jazz now appear set to put him on the market. The New York Knicks have 8 tradable first-round picks, and they need a Donovan Mitchell. And that's what brings people to the seats. That's what brings the Knicks to broadcasting. That's what increases the value of the Knicks as a franchise, our stars. Those years with Carmelo, we didn't win a championship. However, the seats were always full. The Knicks were in the playoffs. Each game, you get, what, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million in the gate. You increase visibility to other stars to come here. So they want something blockbuster like this to happen. And they've been hoarding assets for this moment. They could have gotten DeJounte Murray without a shadow of a doubt. But 3 first-round picks would have taken them out of the hunt for a star like this. And DeJounte Murray is a great player. He's not an ascending player. He's not a superstar, and I don't think he'll ever be a superstar that can lead a franchise to a finals in that way. He is the 3rd best player. Donovan Mitchell is 25 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He hasn't hit the prime of his career. He's 2 to 3 years away from his prime, which is about 28, 29. So if that's the case, then I think you need to get him, but at a cost-effective trade price, understanding that you have quite a bit of leverage here, and it just makes more sense. This came out today. Donovan Mitchell, look at the jersey, New York. He has been going to parties. He has been hanging out with Emmanuel Quickly. He has been all over the place. For him to say "we'll see" and not outright deny it with a big smile, he knows what's going on. You can see it in his face. He knows that this is going down this path, and let us see. I just wanted to quickly show the picks that the Knicks have to use in a trade. I mean, forgive the space. It's late and I'm just too tired to fix it. 2023 first round pick versus Detroit. It's protected, obviously. It's still a commodity. 2023 first round pick via Washington. 2025 first round pick via Milwaukee. It's only protected 1 to 4. Giannis, we don't know how his injury history is going to be. It may be a very valuable pick, potentially. That's a pick I would want to hold on to. And the 2023 first round pick via Dallas, it's protected 1 to 10, and we just need one of them between the years of 2023 and 2025. And we have our own first round picks for infinity and beyond. We don't have any obligations to anybody, So there's all those picks, and you can trade every other year. You have to have a draft pick every other year so that you don't have any, people don't go crazy and trade away 10 picks. So that's a lot of capital to have to make this move. And again, the Knicks are in the driver's seat here. They just can't be an Isaiah Thomas or any of the other terrible presidents and GMs that the Knicks have had to deal with previously. They have been very finicky with draft picks. They have been very cheap with draft picks. They have treated it like absolute platinum gold, whatever you want to call it. They basically have ripped off Sam Presti's guidebook on how to dominate the NBA. It's via the first round pick. So if they're going to use it, they're going to use it wisely. But again, they're in the driver's seat. Miami at best, I think, can offer 3, maybe 4 first round picks. We have 8 tradable first round picks. 8. So that's just huge. It's just a huge difference. I really want to note that the Knicks here need to make sure that they don't overpay. It has to at least match the Gobert trade. They're going to want at least 5 first round picks. Potentially they'll want young talent. Either Quentin Grimes or Emmanuel Quickley will probably have to go in the trade because of the fact that they're not going to get burned if Mitchell is traded for here anyway. Brunson's going to get a lot of minutes. You know how Thibodeau is. He's going to play them 40 minutes. So Donovan Mitchell's going to get a lot of minutes. Jalen Brunson's going to get a lot of minutes. What do you got to have left? 8 minutes? It's just probably in the best for their career if they get traded to accept it, and they're going to get a lot of burn wherever else they go. But it'll be one of the two. I'm not sure who they're going to value. I don't think that they're going to be able to have 3 short guards. Quickly's also one of those short guards, 6'2", 6'1", 6'3", around there. Brunson, Mitchell, 3 short guards is not going to work. So my guess would be Emmanuel Quickley would be in this package. Potentially Obi, because we have overlap with Julius, and the Jazz are not going to take Julius back. They have no need for him, and they're not going to be able to move him afterwards. So Julius is going to be stuck here. So so figure Obi potentially will be in the package as well. I mean, I don't want that, but it just seems to make sense since we have that overlap. Cam Reddish, Thibodeau can't stand him. He's going to be in that package potentially. Evan Fournier, just for salary cap purposes, will probably be in that trade as well. So look for something with a combination of those picks, those players to be in that. The last option is RJ, but that's if Danny Ainge insists on putting him in the package. I read somewhere online that doesn't make any sense, because if you're trying to tank and you're trying to get a good player, RJ is good enough to get a few wins for you in the regular season, and he's not going to have to share with Julius or anybody else. He can put up as many shots as he wants, so it doesn't make sense. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be a fun few days. Again, the only team that I think gets him besides the Knicks will be the Miami Heat. I don't see anybody else with the package even close to what Ainge wants. But insiders, Windhorse, and other people have also stated that they are pretending to offer him to other teams just for to drive the price up for the Knicks, because they know they're in a bad position here, and they know that they don't have the leverage over the Knicks as much as they want. The Knicks have already won the offseason. If they don't trade these picks, they can move up into 2023 and potentially get a very good pick or 2 in the 2023 draft, and the Knicks fans will be fine with that. So yeah, so look out for stuff moving forward. We'll see how this impacts the market, and I'm excited. I want to see what's going to happen. Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson on the Knicks would be great. I might make a video playing on 2K with them. We'll see how it goes. But look out for all the videos, and look out for the trade. If the trade goes through within the next few days, I will be making a video ASAP. So look out for that. Have a good night, and go Knicks. What a great offseason. Oh, I love it. All right, peace out.